Hi there. Welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. I'm the mom and I do the movie reviews. And my goal is to give you the heads up on filmmaking quality and content so that you can make the best decision as to whether or not you want to spend time or money or both sometimes watching a specific film. So, the specific film I'm reviewing today is called Expendables. And I think the title of the movie is pretty clever. It uses the number four in the written word Expendables because it kind of looks like an A. And it's the fourth edition to the action filled franchise, opening in theaters September 22nd, 2023. The film is rated R and is an hour and 43 minutes. My movie review mom grade overall is a C. Now, let me explain why. Don't flip off to another channel. I'm going to give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I liked and didn't like, as well as offer tips for parents, themes worth talking about, interesting lines, funny lines, and recommendations for other films that are sort of similar that you might also really like, especially if you like this one. You ready? In a nutshell, this new film was directed by Scott Wow, or is it Whoa? I apologize. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Sorry, Scott. Writing credits go to Kurt Wimmer, Tad Daggett, and Max Adams. If you're unfamiliar, this action franchise has featured a team of elite mercenaries who are the world's last line of defense when all other options are off the table. So in this movie, get ready for more macho mayhem. There were a lot of things I liked about the movie. First of all, we get to see some of our favorites in this franchise again, like Sylvester Stallone, Dolph Lundgren, Jason Statham, and Tony Jay. We're also introduced to some new characters played by 50 Cent, Megan Fox, Iko Uwais, Randy Couture, and Jacob Scipio. Sadly missing are Arnold Schwarzenegger, Terry Crews, Bruce Willis, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Harrison Ford, Mel Gibson, Wesley Snipes, Steven Seagal, Ronda Rousey, and Antonio Banderas. I don't know why I can never say his name normal. Sadly, their absence is definitely noticeable. I'll talk more about that in just a minute. There is plenty still of blistering action from start to finish. If you're looking for unbridled testosterone with lots of weapons and grunts from tough guys, this movie is for you. The rockin' soundtrack hits hard, just like this team. There is some amusing, snarky dialogue, especially between Jason Statham's character and Sylvester Stallone's characters. I just got a kick out of that. Now, there were some things I didn't like or thought could have been done better. For example, as I said, the lack of many of our favorite actors in this installment of the franchise is noticeable and disappointing. Wah, wah. Makes you wonder why they all backed out. Now, I've read online various reasons why some of them did, but I wonder when the first few dropped out if the rest kind of looked around and were like, yeah, me too. I don't know. It doesn't really feel like an ensemble cast like those prior films, but more of a Jason Statham movie, really. And I love Jason Statham, don't get me wrong. I get a kick out of him and everything that he does, but he's really featured way more than any of these other characters. Whereas I think in previous films, each of the characters had their big moments and it felt like an ensemble. That's all I'm saying. So instead of clever quips, entertaining dialogue is usually replaced by grunts and yells, especially during fighting sequences. And no fighting sequence can ever top anything from the John Wick franchise. I'm just saying. I mean, they hit hard, there's lots of action, but it doesn't make your jaw drop like when you watch John Wick. Have you seen the fourth movie that recently came out? My jaw was on the floor, just like, oh my gosh, how did they do that? Now, it is really hard to take a female warrior, and there are two of them in this one. It's hard to take them seriously when one of them, for example, is wearing a cute little crop top showing her belly, while all the other guys are decked out in full body armor and all of that. Her makeup's perfect. Her hair's perfectly coiffed. I mean, it's eye candy for sure. The ending twist is super hokey. I was just like, really? That kind of felt like lazy writing to me, honestly. I just thought, okay, I guess that means we have an Expendables 5 coming, maybe. I don't know. I actually got bored during this movie and even during some of the action sequences. That's kind of sad, right? I guess because there wasn't anything so new and different that made me go, oh, I can't wait to watch that sequence again. It was just sort of the same old macho fighting bad guys type of thing. And don't get me wrong, I do love that. But I guess I just wasn't feeling it so much in this film. Let me give you some tips for parents. This movie is not appropriate for kids. There is a lot of blood, brutal murders, dead bodies, profanity, and lots of F-bombs, tons of explosions and destruction, dirty talk. We see an unmarried couple tossing around and tumbling around in bed and all that kind of stuff. Some of the themes that are illustrated well are friendship, revenge, loyalty, and that sense of brotherhood. So whenever I watch movies, I take notes, obviously, but I also take notes of the funny lines and the interesting lines simply so I can share them with you so you can get a taste for the dialogue and the script writing quality. And so here's just a conversation that is early on in the movie between Jason Statham and Sylvester Stallone, both of their characters. And so Jason Statham's character says, "Why are you here?" And Sylvester Stallone says, "I got this situation where I need your help." And then Jason Statham says, "I need better friends." So there's lots of that kind of silly conversation. And then a kind of a silly line is when Megan Fox's character says, "It's time to get loud." You know. All right, so let me give you some recommendations for some other films that I instantly thought of as I was watching it, and movies that I think were actually more fun. The first, Expendables, is my first recommendation. It's fun. It's got a massive ensemble cast. And like I said, they all get highlighted. Their characters are very well defined. It's a lot of fun, a lot of testosterone, and all that other same stuff. But because it was the first one in the franchise, it was novel and people just lost their minds over it. The second one is Tropic Thunder. Now that goes back a few years, but it's got another really good ensemble cast. It's in the middle of sort of a war. But there's a lot more humor, I think, in that one, and that makes it fun. And then another film that takes some of our older favorite stars and puts them in a spy espionage humorous situation is the movie Red. And they've also had a sequel to Red. I think for sure two, they might have three, I can't remember now, but it's some of our favorites. And I think that's part of the appeal of the Expendables franchise is we see these movie stars, we've loved them all independently, and then to see them all together is just a lot of fun. So anyway, check out Red if you haven't. There's some men and women, but they're older, so they're not like grunting and yelling and doing, fancy fight sequences. It's more clever espionage type of stuff, but really great. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your support. And if my review is helpful, give my videos a thumb up. That actually helps spread magical YouTube fairy dust on my channel so that more people find it. So I appreciate that. Have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.